Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Outstalk, and in today's video, it is another dupe hunting video, but instead of showing me just killing dupers, I'm gonna explain kind of my tactics for hunting them now. So if you haven't done this before, I said it in my last video, you're gonna want to go to settings, turn on crossplay, server Asia. I heard Oceania works too, but I've only done it on Asia, so let me know in the comments if Oceania works, if anyone's done that. But I keep crossplay on. There's a lot of hackers in crossplay. You can do a crossplay on, but I noticed like there's just not as many dupers with crossplay off. But kind of user preference, I leave it on. And I'm going to be talking specifically about my tactics for Bluegate because I've tried other maps, and you know, Dam Battlegrounds is alright. Buried City, I've caught a couple, but if for some reason they just really love Bluegate. So we're gonna look at the map. You know, like fresh spawn, obviously you're gonna go straight to a hatch. Okay, doesn't matter what hatch you go to. I've caught them at every single hatch, but you know, sometimes you could sit at a hatch. Like I know prefab and village hatch is really popular, but there's also a ton of hunters. Okay, and I know a lot of people are like, well, I've been doing this for multiple days and I've never seen a duper. You know, it's always hunters. And a lot of my teammates have always, you know, when I go ask in game chat if have you guys caught any, they always say no, they've never caught any. It's always just hunters. And some people just don't really know where to look on this map outside of just sitting on a hatch. And I'm going to explain some of the new tactics they've been doing, so maybe you can use that against them if you really want to catch a duper. So, like I said, off spawn, just kind of pick a hatch. I never go to the first hatch. Like if I spawn somewhere in this bunker back here or somewhere along this ridgeline by Ancient Fort, I won't go to Fragrant. I don't like Fragrant hatch. I've gotten aimbotted way too many times going and sitting by this hatch. This hatch is very popular for aimbotters because it's very open. They can pretty much see from all directions, so you get aimbotted a lot at that hatch, and there's always like massive fights here. Really hard to catch a duper here and survive. Reinforced hatch. If I spawn somewhere on this side of the map, I'm definitely going to reinforced hatch first, because there's a spawn back here that's pretty popular. Like I've always seen dead bodies of dupers back here, and it's really easy for them to zip line to the hatch. It's somewhere along this ridge line, but there's like a dedicated spawn there, and it's really good. Like if you spawn late somewhere back here, just start running to this hatch, because usually when there's a late spawn, someone also spawned back here with you. Maintenance bunker has a spawn as well underground. I've caught dupers coming out of that trying to go to the fragrant hatch late game. If I spawn somewhere on this side of the map, like there's a bunker back here, like if I spawn this bunker fresh, I'm going to prefab, because usually you can catch the people coming down from Pilgrim's Peak. Sometimes if you late spawn in this bunker specifically though, I've noticed dupers will spawn right where my crosshair is. Like there's a rock when you're sitting at this hatch, like if you're in the front building, you'll see this rock, and there's a couple bushes that people would like to sit in, but there's a spawn directly on this cross, and all they have to do is do the trade and set a zipline straight on the hatch. I've caught multiple people late spawn doing this. I've also noticed if I spawn late, like on the prefab hatch, or you know, down by this bunker specifically, they will, especially in trios, like you can do this in duos or trios, but I mostly crew fill trios, and I've noticed if there's a duper trio, they will send somebody to start this this exfil, and they will sit here, draw a whole bunch of attention, make a whole bunch of noise, right? And what they're actually doing is they're trying to send somebody to start this, and the other two are going to try to flank around, like somewhere in this little area, kind of this big old canyon pass, and they try to zip line as soon as you leave this spot. So this guy's gonna call out when you try to come down to that spot, and they'll immediately zipline to it. I've had 2 people do this on this one, and I've had people do it at maintenance bunker. They'll start the exfil and try to call out if they see your team leaving a certain spot, and then they'll rush straight for the hatch. I've caught, I'll show the clip, but I've had definitely some people try to do that tactic, and they ran back to their teammates that were back here, and they were all full of bobcats. Village side, I've noticed there's some late spawns somewhere in these woods, and they, instead of trying to take the hatch, because a lot of these people know that the hatches are pretty much just a death sentence if you don't spawn fresh, like directly on them. What they'll do is they'll actually sit and wait, and I've had people come up and try to take a normal exfil with like all their volcanoes and tempests and stuff, and they'll try to act friendly, and they'll actually just come take this extract specifically without a hatch key. I've caught 2 people doing that. They'll walk up like late, or I'll start the exfil like later in the game, and they'll come walking up this ridge because they've been sitting somewhere in these bushes like for, you know, over 10-15 minutes, and they try to just exfil normally. Trying to think, if you late spawn down here, there's a building that you spawn by. Chances are if you late spawn here at about 17 and the lobby died, like there was like a bunch of fights, right? You should late spawn, and someone will late spawn here all the time. I've run straight from this spawn back here, gone straight to this house, and I've actually caught dupers in the process of duping. Like their hands were all stuck behind their head and shit, and they actually couldn't complete the trade because I was able to, you know, rush straight over here with adrenaline shots and catch them in the act. And this guy was duping ducks when I had that, but just try to memorize some of the spawns. Like, you know, I've also late spawned up here in this building because no one was camping it anymore, and I ran down the village because I saw a flare somewhere back here, and I actually managed to catch 2 people with bobcats all the way in the back of the map. They were crouch walking, and they were just trying to hide. So I've noticed a lot of them don't try to take the hatches anymore. They also don't use zip lines as much, unless it's like off spawn, you know, like a fresh lobby. But a lot of these bridge lines have a lot of places to hide. I've caught people under the collapsed highway. There's a lot of bushes, a lot of cars. No one really goes here. A lot of these people, they just go to the first flare they see, and usually fragrant hatch is the first flare or prefab. If you're not getting anyone coming to you by like 27:30, especially on like a fresh raid, by 27:30, if no one's come to you that looks heavy, over encumbered, you haven't seen any flares like with no gunshots somewhere in the back of the map, I would just assume that you're probably not going to catch a duper. A lot of this is pretty much just a waste of time. Like, you're kind of just camping a hatch. If you're really trying to catch somebody, you will just camp a hatch. In my opinion, if you don't see anyone by like 27:30, 27, you're probably just going to get run up on by people with Bobcat 4s and Tempests, and you're probably just going to die if you're not paying attention. So I just reset. A lot of the times, even when I late spawn, you know, at 17 or 19, if I don't catch somebody in the first like 3 or 4 minutes, I just assume no one's coming and I just reset, just so I don't waste as much time. A lot of this is patience. I got a lot of comments saying like I've never caught anyone, or my teammates will say they've never caught anyone, they've been doing this for days. This is literally just like gambling and fishing. Like, you just have to be patient. Sometimes, you know, depending on the time of day, there won't even be dupers. I noticed like midday for me, there's just like almost no dupers. Like, there's evidence there were dupers, but it's just tons of hunters, and a lot of these guys are just straight up cheating. Even the dupers are starting to cheat now. I'm gonna put a clip in. You know, I saw a guy flying around with a free kit, and he was literally just flying around the map. You know, he died to a leaper because I don't think he knew what he was doing, but he was just straight up flying over here by Pilgrim's Peak, scouting people out. And I think that's what some of the duper teams are doing in trios, is one guy's got like wall hacks, and he's just kind of telling you where to go, like if you're buying stuff. and it's getting a lot harder to catch them. However, it's still possible. There's multiple dupers still on this map. Damn Battlegrounds, honestly, the only time I've caught people is when they go to Red Lakes and Sunroof hatches. Outside of that, I don't really do it on this map. You can catch people at the old Barons hatch, but I mean, this is super open. Like, I don't see people going. This is super open too, but I've had dupers spawn in that bunker, you know, right next to the hatch and get out. I think it's a lot harder to do it on damn Battlegrounds. Buried City, same thing, you know. I don't play Buried City. I know Murano, or the train station hatch, and the Collapsed Sun Market hatch have like the most people. You can catch them at this highway overpass one, but that one's pretty hard to get to. You know, that's like in the dead center of the map. But these two hatches back here, I've always gotten camped. There are dupers, but most of the time they will spawn next to the hatch and just get out before you can even do anything. And that's not really your fault. That's just how the game is. You know, it's a lot of luck of the draw. I think if you really want to catch dupers, you go to Bluegate. Just know that there's tons of hackers on Bluegate. I mean, this map is very open. I've gotten aimbotted from Pilgrim's Peak, you know, when I'm all the way down by Agent Fort, you know, so it's kind of just the risk reward, but a lot of it is patience. So if you guys can't seem to find dupers, try these methods. If you see someone start an exfil and it's only one person and they don't look like they have anything, their friend is probably a duper and they're definitely coming to the hatch that you're probably sitting next to. So just try and keep that in mind. Rotate spawns. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is patience and luck. So if you guys want to add me, and I'll keep doing this until, you know, it's fully patched, or if you guys need help, you can try and add me up. My Embark ID is right there on the screen. I've helped out a couple people, you know, catch their first duper. I don't really care to take the loot. You guys can do whatever you want. Just know that you could get banned if you keep all the loot. But yeah, anyways guys, I hope these tips help you catch your first duper, and good luck out there, Raiders.
I'm gonna give you a bobcat if you revive.